Welcome to Yeshiva Daf. She is sponsored by Nishma Sam Yaakov Shalom Nav Basitzchok. We're holding in Sanhedrin Daf Yud Base. We're starting the Vidal base in the bottom, the last line. Tomer Bun. Ein me'abri misashono Daf Base Daf on top. B'shni Reoven. You cannot do Ibra Shona in times of hunger. Why is that? Because if you do Ibra Shona, you're adding more to the year, and they're not able to eat from the Chodesh. People don't have what to eat. You have to give them the ability to eat. Tani Rabbi Omer Ish Bo Mibal Shalisho Ve'avel Ish Elokim. Lechem bikurim esrim. That's what the pasuk says. Lechem soyim bekarmel b'tzikloinoi. So referring to here a pasuk in Melachim that the person brought to the Navi these breads, and it says, where did he come from? He came from Baal Shalisha. The place where things grow, where you have the best in. The fruits grow the fastest. Only one mean came out because he says lechem bikurim esrim, lechem soirim. Right? There's only one. It came here. In other words, the earliest place there to Israel grew something very late. Really should did Ibra Shor that year because everything was very delayed. Why Elisha didn't do it? It's a time of hunger. Everybody's running to get food. You cannot do Ibra Shor before Shor. In other words, you can't announce it until afterwards, until you get to actually the time of Rosh Hashanah. Rashi says over here something which is hard to understand a little bit, but he says we talk about the reason is because they're going to may forget. You do it, it doesn't work. You could do Achar Rosh Hashanah miyad, that is fine to do it. The only month you can be me'aber is Adar. This is the Pashut, me'aber only Chodesh Adar. Says the Gemara, Eini, Val Shochul Rovo, Zug Bo Mirekis. So now, very interesting Lashon here. We're not going to go explain why we have this encryptic Lashon. Just what we have over here is it was a time of tsaris and they couldn't write in clearly the oisig b'mitzvahs. So that's why they said in a cryptic way. The Mashar here is a gavaldik pshat regarding this pshat. It said this in the Gemara. This Hashem will address it when we get to the Shor Mashava on the Daf. But the Gemara says like this. Well, we'll just see the pshat, the words. So Vasharach Lulav, they said the Rav. Zug ba Mirekis. What is Zug ba Mirekis? There was two people that came to the place called Rekis. They tafsu nesher biyodom, and they were holding a nesher, which means the chayil parsim. Rashi says the Persians caught it. What are they caught by them? Devarim anasi beluz, things are done beluz, which is tchelis. Tchelis is done with luz, and that's what you call it. They call it in other words, they call them tzitzis by them. Umayni tchelis b'schus harachim u'b'schusom, because of the rachim and their schus. I have to understand. What is their schus? Yotzu b'shalom, they got out of there. So the enemy caught them with tzitzis, they got out. V'amusi yereichei nachshon, which means the nesim from Yehudo, nachshon min aminodov, bikshu likvoya netziv echod, they wanted to be kriveya a month of chodesh ibun. Netziv is a month, as we'll see in a moment. V'lo yinichu adoimi alaz. So the doimi, in other words, the malchus that we showed did not allow them to have this month. But the Chacham got together. They did add a month. In the month of Aaron Kohen died, which means Chodesh Av. So what do you see over here? So the cryptic lashon is saying that they did do Ibra Shana in the month of Av. So you see over here, they do 1 month above. Says you could do Ibra Shana before Shoshana. Says the Gemara, they cheshbon they didn't reveal it till afterwards. Only after Shoshana, because we said before. I didn't know the Notzi means a month. We said he wanted to add a month. So the Notzi refers to the ones that supported Shlomo and his people once a month. Each one a month. We'll just ask a Pashup Shad. He said there's 12 and there's another one. So more, he's in charge of all 12. You have one when you need the supporter for the Chodesh Sheibur. You can't do from 1 year to another, and not 3 years together. Sitting in jail. He did do 3 years. Basically, did each one understand? Here Rashi brings two explanations. Either pshat is you don't do 3 years, mean 3 consecutive years Shana Muberetz, or Rashi doesn't like the pshat. He says you don't sit and decide about 3 years Shana Muberetz. Elama, you do 1 year at a time, 2 years at a time max, but not more. I mean, even though you're planning it for a few years ahead, you don't do more than 2. Rabbi Akiva did 3, but then they sat again and they reestablished what Rabbi Akiva did because they wanted to hop around before they killed him to make sure, because he was very booking. You don't do in Shemitah, which is interesting. The last Shemitah we had, we did have Ibur, which is something needs Avona. Learn Moitish, you don't do Moitish. Why? Because Shemitah makes Shemitah too long, it's another month, and after Shemitah, it's too long to get to Chodesh. And Matai Redim Labe, when is a good time to do Ibur Shana? Erev Shvis. They do it before Shemitah. Why? Because then you give them more time to harvest their field. So basically, I had no problem to do it the year after Shemitah. According to the following, the Tanya, can you bring vegetables of Chutzarts? So the first one says no. I was saying with you, it says you could, my benai, the gush offer, because Chutzarts, they're going to cost 2 more naira to throw. In other words, when you bring the vegetables, maybe you'll bring earth with it, cost 2 more. So if you're chodesh there, you don't bring vegetables of chutzarts. If you're not chodesh, you do bring. They do bring. They only do bring. So therefore, I have no issue of doing a year after Shemitah, because even if you don't have food, you bring food from chutzarts. According to that, you should be able to do it on Shemitah as well. Something which needs a one. Says the Gemara, Torah Abana. You don't do Ibur Shana because of Tum, because of Am Yisrael's Tum, and they can't do Pesach with Tahara. We don't even have it. You do Ibur Shana if Am Yisrael's Tum. There was a story with Chizkiah Melech Yehuda. They did do the Ibur Shana because of Tumo. Yes, he doubted for himself. He said, I made a mistake. Most of the people from all these nations, all these shvatim, they're not Torah. So if Pesach will come in Tumah, we try to avoid doing Pesach Tumah if possible. So they want to be Pesach on base. Meaning they ate Pesach on the wrong date. He dived into them, even though they made a mistake in the Ibur Shana, it should be okay. If it did was a tumor, that's fine. You wouldn't need kapara. Maybe you should not do it for tumor, but if you did it, it'll be okay. Why? What did you do wrong? It's something that really needs rachim to fix it. So he says, Shein Me'amim El Adar. Do Ibur Shana only for the month of Adar. He did it in the month of Nisan. He wants to explain in a second exactly what it means. He sees the source of Pesach Sheni. He pushed Abisol not to do Pesach Rishon, but to do Pesach Sheni, as I was going to explain in a moment. In other words, you could do Ibur. You do Ibur if Abisol is tummy. How many steps you do Tumah Tchuya B'Tzibur? I mean, we know when Abisol is tummy, you can do Pesach, but you try to avoid it. Why? Because Tumah Tchuya B'Tzibur. The tzitz is on the forehead of the Kohen Gadol. So, or if it's not on the forehead of the Kohen Gadol, Shimon says, okay. Why? Because I don't really need the tzitz. If it's on the forehead of the Kohen Gadol and it's being used, so then you have a ritzur for the tumah. Why? Because tumah is tchuy b'tzibur. Sorry, not because, just because time. First he says the tumah, you don't need to have the tzitz on the forehead of the Kohen Gadol. Shimon says it has to be in the forehead of the Kohen Gadol. What about Kohen Gadol Yom Kippurim? What about Kohen Gadol Yom Kippurim? He doesn't have it on his forehead because he wears only 4 b'gadim. And you have ritzur. Here comes Utra B'Tzibur. I mean, we're not talking about we have only one tumah. There, what's a pshat? Maybe Amisol will be tummy. Maybe Kohen Gadol will be tummy. Who is representing Amisol? Tumah Utra B'Tzibur. I don't need the tzitz. So So the time of so you steer Rabbi Yehuda. Some of the time of Tiksha Regufa, I have a problem with Yehuda himself. Yehuda says you do Hebrew for Tumah. Then a moment later it says that Chizki did something wrong. Right? Did something wrong. You only do Hebrew. You're missing a part. You should not do Hebrew Shana for Tumah, Hebrew and Muberis. If you did do it, it's fine. Not. It's not Muberis. Because the Tumah doesn't bother me at all. Tumah Jabativo. You know that Chizki did something wrong. So Rabbi is good in the Shittas. So what does Shimon come to add? That's exactly what Tanakama said. If you add the Chesur Mercer. Should you do Ibur or not? Tanakama holds don't do Ibur lechatchila. According to Shimon, you could be Ibur lechatchila for Tumah. Exactly that way. Don't do Ibur Hashana for Tumah. Lechatchila, but the evidence works. Sure, no, I'm mad. And the Primabi gets Rachim Latzmai, according to Rav Shimon. Shem Abi Melod of we bring Nisa Minis. He didn't Nisa. Oh my gosh, Shem Abi Melod of we bring Nisa Minis. But let's say Chizki Achoish is Elachem. Ze Nisa and Vein Acher Nisa. And Nisa could be only 1 month, not 2 months. So how do you do 2 months Nisa? Tob the Shmuel. He really did other. Nice. What's the mistake? I'm sure when Abi was a Shana be Shleish Shladar. Don't do Hebrew Shana in the 30th day of Adar. Why? Or if Roy the cover Nisa, 30th day of Adar could be Nisa. You saw Roy learn none. That's what he said. Okay, it's Roy, but I still can make it into Adar. Still Chodesh Adar. You should not do it over there, and that's what Chizki made a mistake. And that's why I asked that Parachim, because in the 30th day of Adar you don't decide to add another month. Shimon Yudolim Mishum Shimon Nishi see the Israel Asois Pesach Sheni. He made them do Pesach Sheni. What's the case? Omar Lashko Yisrael Mechza Tmei Mechza Toim. You were half and half. The Rashi Toy say over here not necessarily half and half, but let's say the majority were Tmei. V'noshi Mashlimus the Toim Void for Saleh. And the women are the ones that make the Roiv Tar. That's what it is. If Am Yisrael's Ruber Tomei. So then you do it in Pesach Rishon. If Am Yisrael is Ruben Tar, so the Roiv do it Pesach Rishon, and the Roiv do Pesach Sheni. Now here, if you count the woman, the Roiv of Am Yisrael is Tar, and the Miyut is Tar. If you don't count the woman, the Roiv of Am Yisrael is Tar. So because the beginning you thought you count the woman because the woman is Chayvo. So how many twain you have? Only a mute, only a minority. You push him to the Pesach Sheni. So someone then held Nashim Rishon Rishos. Nashim Rishon Rishos. The Avalu Twain Rubo Lemitchu the Pesach Sheni. The majority were Tame. The capital puts Pesach Sheni. So that was the mistake of Chizkiah. They told him to do Pesach Sheni when it was not the right thing. Says the Gemara, Gufo. You don't do Hebrew Shana on the 30th day of Adar, because that could be Nisa. Hebrew, my what happens if they do it? If they did do it, they will not do Kiddush Chodesh. And therefore, what's going to happen if you don't do Kiddush Chodesh? Rashi says, "In Kiddush Chodesh lo mekudesh shul Adar Sheni. The kevan de ruli kvar Nisa karina beizeh Nisa menachem Nisa. Ela shavke. Chematu yeshok achina mekat Sheni Nisa." If they did it, they just don't do. They don't say the words Kiddush Chodesh. But it does work, right? So then the Hebrew is cancelled, becomes Nisa. No, but the evidence works. Already from Purim, they start the 30 days to Pesach. When you from Purim, they start dashing the Achos of Pesach. The Tano, Shalom Yichos of Pesach, because Pesach Shloshim Yoyim. 30 days before Pesach, you start learning the Yichos Pesach. Shivim is only 2 weeks. When you come into Chodesh Nisan, you come into another month. After you're already 2 weeks dealing with chametz. So Bishama, if you did the Hebrew Hashem before the 30th, it's people understand. But you come to a Chodesh Nisan, you're already ready to Chodesh Nisan, and now you say it's other. So then people will be mezazah and chametz. So people know Chodesh Ibur has to do with the cheshbon of Beis. They'll just say, they understand Rabbanan didn't get to the cheshbon until now, so I'm not choshesh that, and therefore we say that the Ibur is chal, even though people will start thinking, it's already Nisan, say yanning a month, B'diavad, and even so, B'diavad works, still his need to ask Rechmanis according to that, because even though it works, but they did something wrong, they should have done it, and therefore he has to ask Mechila. So we'll stop over here, Be'ez Hashem, continuing from down here to in the next daf. Next daf is a difficult cheshbonik daf, Be'ez Hashem. Kol tov.